Within the care system today, there are two scenarios that are happening. Children are being removed from loving families on the flimsies of excuses, and usually with little or no concrete evidence other than the opinions of experts. Children are also being left in horrendous positions, whereas they are actually being harmed at the hands of their own parents, or in the worst instances, they end up being killed. Yet social services are aware of them and do little or nothing to help them. I, as a care leaver, myself, are campaigning to help children in the system. The system is not fit for purpose. Children that are entering the system are then coming out the other end of the system in a worse state than when they first went in. 29% of care leavers are in education, training or employment at the age of 19. Only around 12% of children in care leave school with 5 A-star to C GCSEs. This is compared to 59% of all the other children. 55% of care leavers suffer from depression. Almost a third of young people leaving care start misusing drugs and alcohol within a year of leaving the system. Around a third of those living on the streets have a background in care. 23% of the prison population, the adult prison population, have previously been in care, and an extensive 71% of under 25 prison population have previously been in care. This is unacceptable. This is disgraceful, and this is happening here in our country. These children, the majority of them, are taken for the right reasons, but they are brought into a system whereas they end up leaving in a worse state than when they went in, and this is unacceptable. These children need help, they need support, and they are not getting this within the system. This needs to change. I was a care leaver, but I never fell into any of these. I had a good education. I left school with 9 GCSEs, 8 star to C grades. I had a fairly good education after that. I've never had any drink or drug problems, and I have no criminal record. But yet, as a care leaver, when I fell pregnant, was deemed an unfit parent. The pure reason was I had been in the care system. You'd think this would send out massive alarm bells that the system doesn't work, there's seriously something wrong. But no, it's just a fact of life. I'm supposed to accept this. Sorry, but no, I'm not going to accept this. Things need to change. The sad fact is the care system is needed to protect the children who are being abused, but the system is ruining lives rather than saving lives. I've heard of so many stories of all sides of the system, and it is really disturbing. Too many families being ripped apart, too many children being harmed or even worse, still killed due to the failures of the system. Foster carers are left unable to parent to the best of their abilities because the children are placed with them and they are expected just to get on with it. With a child who is so mixed up and confused, they lash out. Placements break down because there is no help, no support. Children are within the system moved from pillar to post and then just abandoned at the end of the system. This is the system we have in place, and it's about high time things changed. The key to all these problems stem from the initial stages of the system, the intervention and prevention side. The amount of children being taken into care has risen on a dramatic scale over the last 10 years. But the number of children dying because of the failures due to the system is also on the rise. This doesn't add up. I know from my own experience, as a child, I need to be protected. It took them 7 years to take me. And then with my daughter, they took her straight away. No reasons, just crystal ball predictions that I might harm her because I'd been harmed and taken into the system myself. This shouldn't be happening. Crystal ball predictions should not stand in court. Opinions of experts should not just be the basis of the evidence presented to the court to remove a child. There needs to be something that is changed, and there's something that really seriously needs to happen now to protect the children. These children are our future and we need to protect them. I'm not saying all cases within the system are bad, but there is far too many failures. Yes, people keep saying to me about you've got to give a bit of leeway, and I understand that. Nothing can be 100% perfect, but the figures are too high, and this is what I'm campaigning for, because there is no need for this. The fact I've been through this system and I've got a situation I have with my daughter, yes, I'm challenging all that, but it's hard to explain. I can't be angry at the system. I'm always being asked, why aren't I angry? Why aren't I bitter? And it's because I've been on both sides. I needed the protection of the system. And there are children out there who have got far worse situations than what I had as a child, and they do need the protection of the system. But it's got to change. The families that are being split up over nothing, basically. This has got to change. This prevents children unnecessarily entering the system. This alleviates the strain on the system and gives us a chance to sort out the system and provide for those that need it. There needs to be a change in law right from the start, where children are taken into the system because they need protection, because they are being harmed or they are being neglected. Not that they might be in the future. It's hard to explain, but there's got to be some limitations on when local authorities can take children to the system. That is the first step, because that will alleviate the system. Another issue I've got is my daughter's gone for adoption, and a lot of people, when I mention social services, they automatically think something's been done wrong, and I can assure you I haven't, and I'm not the only one in this position. On the say-so of an expert, a child is adopted. Now, the last I heard, 1 in 3 adoptions were breaking down because there is no help, no support for the families. The children are that distraught for being separated from their own families, and the situation just escalates. And I'm not blaming it on the adopters, I'm blaming it on the system. There needs to be some sort of leeway somewhere. I cannot be angry at the system, because even though my daughter was taken unnecessarily, I wasn't. I was taken for the right reasons. What I am angry about is what's happened since then. But I'm not angry at any individuals, I'm angry at the system, and this is why I, amongst many others, and may I say fantastic people, are campaigning to get this sorted, but we need help from those that have the power to change things. And until we have that, nothing's going to change. The system is going to end up collapsing, and it's going to be a huge mess. Now, I ask those in the power, with the power to change laws, to change things within the system, the ones that are supposedly in charge of the system, to change this. Work with us, the people that know, the people that have been through this, and we can create a system that is fair, that protects the children and protects the innocent families, provides the help and support so many families just need to help them on the way. There's no need for removing children in some cases. They just need some help and support, but that help and support is nowhere to be seen. Together we can achieve this. Separately we can't. But we do need to sort this. And I just hope something and everything that I'm doing will achieve this, along with the people that I'm working alongside of, and I can't thank them enough, because I wouldn't be here doing this. I wouldn't be sat here doing this video. I wouldn't be sat here doing what I'm doing. But I am, and it's thanks to those that have helped me along the way. And it's those that I need to thank for this opportunity to allow me to challenge the system the way that I am doing. I'm holding the council account for their responsibilities whilst I was in the care system and whilst they was involved with me as a child. And I'm also taking my daughter's case to the European Court of Human Rights. And I'm hoping that they see what has happened and they help us get this sorted for the innocent families that have been separated for no reason at all, or very little reasons. And I hope we can provide a system that gives them families the help and support, whilst also protecting those children that need it and providing them with the life that they deserve. I just hope people start to listen and people start to understand what is actually happening, and they join us in getting this system sorted now.